I'm Eric Hayden with the National Weather Service in Newport Morehead City. I want to show you some of the damage that was caused by the tornado in our area. Most of it consisted of some larger branches that were knocked down, but a couple of subtle things I want to point out to you. These trees over here, all blown toward the east, and that is the direction of the storm. So we look for certain clues. Is anything blowing in the opposite direction? So again, these tree branches blown toward the east. There's some damage to that window, again, from an easterly direction. But if you come around the front side of this porch, that sitting area, that chair right there, that bench, was blown off to the north and west. The only way that could happen would be with an opposite wind direction. I'll go around the other side of the house to show you some other examples of that. So you can see most of the damage consisted of some larger branches broken down. We usually look for uprooted trees to let us know the direction that the wind was coming. In this case, we don't have it, so we just have to go with what we can, what we really have. So again, here's the house again as reference. This is all blown to the east. In the back, that's that chair I was talking about that's blown to the northwest. Remember that here in a second. So all this is going to the east. There was debris out in the field consisting, again, mainly minor, some smaller limbs. If you look up into the trees, I don't know how well you can see it, but you see some of these are broken off and they are all pointed to the east. So again, the general motion of the storm itself was to the east. Most of the damage itself went to the east. But if you come around the back side of this house, again, here's the branch again. They mentioned that this window was blown in a little bit, and that is all going off to the east. I'm gonna walk around the back side of the house. A lot of times people, they're drawn to what's damaged, and they may not notice subtle things. As I continue to walk, you can see this larger branch. This is again going off to the easterly direction, and we saw some debris in terms of light branches and small limbs blown off to the east. But as I come back to around the house itself, and just to orient yourself, here's those large branches again blown toward me, so that's toward the east, and I showed you some smaller stuff up in the tree. But real subtle, if you look on the back end of this house, there's some, looks like flashing. Again, this is minor damage, it's nothing crazy, but this right here had to have been blown in the opposite direction, which would be the northwest. That is consistent with what we saw on the front porch. The only way to bend that flashing up like that would not be for the wind to come through the house, but to go in an opposite direction. So I'm gonna back up one more time just to show you some of the subtle things we're looking at. Again, on the left, you can see the tree branches. This is going toward the east, but that flashing on the top of the roof is back toward the north and west. So overall, minor damage. We're talking large limbs and some smaller branches broken down. When we do a tornado survey like this, what we're looking for is the pattern of the damage. Is it kind of a path and convergent with opposite wind directions? That would be tornadic. Or is it all in one direction? So whenever we do these surveys, it's not the amount of damage that determines if it's a tornado, it's the pattern. And then from the amount of damage, we'll determine what the wind speed was. And again, the biggest thing, some of these larger branches were broken off. We don't see any snapped or uprooted trees. So not talking severe winds. Where we are is located right along Gray Road, north of Vanceboro. I've got to go to those homes to see some damage as well. So Eric Hayden again with the National Weather Service in Newport Morehead City, out doing the survey. It does look like a tornado, and I just wanted to show you the reason why for that. Those different wind directions, most of the damage blown off to the east, but that flashing and then the chair on the front porch, that was blown to the north and west. So real subtle clues on these surveys. Again, we're looking at the pattern of the damage to determine was it a tornado or a microburst. Then the amount of damage will actually determine what the actual wind speed was.